Welcome to the third session. In the first session, we briefly understood the eightfold path of mindfulness and how this mind should undergo a change from a habitual mind to a mind that is consciously taking everything in our life, whether it is a thought or a speech or an action, from moment to moment. But what prevents from working with the habitual mind that we discussed in the second week, last week, and you got some idea that the mind is running after pleasure, considering it as happiness. Like, we think if I marry, I will secure happiness. Not true? Like I gave an example of Marilyn Monroe. Had everything. Wealth, fame, beauty, multiple affairs. But died. Because of depression, because of drugs. Look at it. So today we are going to talk about what is this mind? How this mind and why this mind takes us to depression or anxiety or duality or a conflict. And once we have a clear understanding of what this mind is, it becomes easy to meditate all the time, to be in the state of meditation all the time. Before we go there, last week we understood that the covering over the mind, the way it works. I was giving an example of this selfie. Yesterday I was talking that there were 25 students in a class, and teacher asked, come on, one boy, what your father does? Well, what your father do? Very normal question. Yeah. So the student stood up and said, teacher, I have 15 brothers and sisters. Come on. I have 15 brothers and sisters. So teacher asked again, I'm asking you what your father does. I have 15 brothers and sisters. Now it's the turn of teacher. He became angry. I'm asking you what your father does. He has no other time to do. I answered your question. He has 15 I have 15 brothers and sisters. So the mind gives you a very smart answer. But is it really right? We all like to be smart. And the moment you are right, the mindfulness or meditation or peace or happiness becomes an easy thing. It becomes a play, it becomes a fun, and it becomes a joy in life. We get entangled by giving smart answers. And that comes from likes and dislikes. That comes from habitual mind. The mind that has a default setting, it likes and it says, it gives me happiness. So, in order to uncover those movements of the mind, we did a practice last week. So let us do that practice before we go and understand and move to the next higher practice today. So sit or lie down. Close your eyes. Whatever is comfortable to you, my friends. The speaker is putting 100%. It does not mean that you should not put your 100%. If we both put our 100%, the result is there. But if you don't put your 100% and I put my 100%, or you put your 100%, I don't put it. You see that? So eyes are closed. what we did last week to give you an idea, practical understanding before we go to our next understanding of this journey of life. So eyes are closed, you are comfortable. How you be comfortable? Look at the neck joint, feel the sensation. If the sensation tells your mind that you are not comfortable, adjust and align. So sensation and steadiness, shoulder joints, ankles, hip joint, knees, everything. As if you are here not to do anything, what happens? That habitual mind gets confused and you raise your awareness. I'm just giving you a practical understanding of this. So, we have to maintain this state of awareness throughout the practice. What is that state of awareness? Being comfortable. And how the mind experiences that state, having some sensation, means what? You rise in awareness. You come closer to yourself. How simple it is. And then you experience the steadiness that prevents the mind to go out, but it happens. So we introduced a step to purify the mind. Look inside the chest, in the space, and start playing with the breath. Quick, short, fun, playful breath. Just continue. Do not wait for me. Then it means that you are putting your 100%. At the same time, your experiences will change. What should I do? Don't bring the habitual mind. Recognize it, accept it. It is voluntary. Remember, continue. Fun, play, joy. Fun, play, joy. I'm playing with the breath. I am playing with the breath. The body is in a state of comfortable, and we are breathing in a fun, playful manner. And stop it. Tathagat, experience what experience is here and now. Don't relate it to anything. The moment you relate, the mind becomes habitual. Recognize the sensation, the stillness, you are aware of it. Now we are going to absorb this mind into an energy known as prana. So take a deep, silent, slow breathing. Check. The inhalation and exhalation are equal. So how to start that breathing? First you inhale into the belly, then into the ribs, then you exhale from the belly, from the ribs. Check, become aware, experience what is happening now. Don't start thinking I did the pranayama before in that class and something good happened, it will happen the same thing here also. No. And as you start exhaling, start doing the humming sound louder, deeper and longer. You need not to wait for me when I say you to stop it. And if the mind is waiting, you're not putting your 100%. I'm just making you aware. So continue the journey on your own. Maintain your awareness of sensation and the steadiness in the body. Doors are closed when you drive a car on a highway. That is what the sensation and the stillness are. Continue. And stop this humming sound, but check. Is your mind ready to continue? Then you are putting your 100%. You are still experiencing sensation and the stillness. Perhaps the sensation has become deeper. You have risen. You're rising in your awareness. And that is the right time to take this mind on a right track. Look at the head and the neck. I'm combining both the practices that we did in the first week. So the 4-step relaxation, mindfulness, you're not doing anything now. As long as you do something in meditation, it has to do with the purification of the mind. It has to do with the impurity of the mind. And the moment you start doing nothing, the real journey of meditation starts. Head and the neck, feel the sensation and become aware. Right arm, sensation, awareness. Look deeply, left arm. The moment I say left arm, the mind is active, but it is moving in a right direction. So it simply experiences the sensation as sensation. Chest and the belly. Chest and the belly, sensation and awareness. We are not scanning. We are going beyond the body. So sometime when you hear the word, remember, it is not scanning in a medical facility. Look at the right leg. You're simply looking. The right leg, and the mind says, I feel the sensation. Good. You are aware. That's all. Left leg. Sensation and awareness. Entire body from the top to the toes. You see the mind, that habitual mind, does the trick. It says, okay, let me move and feel the sensation. No. And the moment it happens, you fall into unconsciousness. And then, again, that's why the teachers of the Eastern wisdom speaks and clarifies those principles repeatedly. The entire body. Look at the head and the neck. Experience the sensation and the stillness. We discover, you explore. When you sit in this room, you explore, the floor is still. Here is a space, I can sit or lie down. Same thing. More of a subjective awareness than the floor or the mat. Look at this, right arm. Experience sensation and stillness. Left arm. Sensation and stillness. Chest and the belly. Sensation and stillness. Right leg, sensation and stillness. Left leg, sensation and stillness. The entire body, sensation and stillness. The third step, to become aware, if I'm living within, or the mind is living within. How do you know you're living in the studio inside? Your car is outside, there is a parking space, the people are moving. Look at this. Can you compare this with the mind outside and inside? So when you look inside the head and the neck, space, sensation, the moment you become aware of it, say to yourself, I'm in peace. One more time, looking inside the head. You know, sometimes we start looking inside the head and the mind takes you to the memory lane, and then we start daydreaming. I'm not saying that. Are you aware? That is the key. I'm in peace. One time more, looking inside the forehead, becoming aware of the space, and I'm in peace. Because mind needs to be educated, it needs to be empowered. So we use the breath awareness to empower the mind. Hey, you can be there inside. So what we are doing? Not doing anything, looking at the breath going in and out, feeling the sensation of the breath that goes in and out, and no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. You see that? You might have heard paying attention non-judgmentally. The moment your mind says, I have to pay attention non-judgmentally, the mind starts thinking whether I'm judgmental or non-judgmental. You have already given something for the mind to be active outwardly. And what I'm saying you? You are not changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath. So, doing nothing now, be in a state of doing nothing. The very existence, the presence of that existence, and we are aware we are in meditation. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. Feel the sensation. Your awareness on the left hand. Feel the sensation. Lift your both the palms. Place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Now you start thinking and ask yourself what happened. Bring your hands down, sit up, we'll share our experiences for a while. We did it for almost 18 minutes. And then we will continue our journey. How are you? Good? How are you? Calm? Very relaxed. Good. How are you?
I dozed off, fell asleep a little bit.
That's okay. I answered that when we sleep, so it's okay. In couple of sessions, how are you?
Oh, very calm.
Very calm. How are you?
Lots of side thoughts.
You have? Lot of thoughts?
Just try to acknowledge and then let them move on. And if they were sticking around, it was hard to keep focusing on what was in front of me.
Yeah. So you feel a little calmer.
Yeah, but not quite as...
Not as quite. I will do that.
Successful as we should. You can't judge, but...
How are you?
Quite well.
Quite well?
Yeah, it was a very good week.
Good.
Yeah, your words kind of echoed. It was good. And that was an excellent 18 minutes.
Excellent 18 minutes. That's really good. How are you, Rich?
Very relaxed.
Very relaxed. I see. So, mind. As we discussed in the last 2 weeks, that Eightfold Path, reflected on briefly, and how the mind works. Sometimes it works for pleasure, considering it as happiness, satisfaction in life, considers it as happiness, meaning in life. We do a lot of social service, and we experience that. No, we think that it will give me happiness. So the last step was that I have to know who am I. But the journey has to start with the mind. Whether you say it is a mind, whether you say it is an intellect, but this mind always likes to be smart. It may or may not be right, but it always wants to be smart all the time. And that smartness comes from the past memory, the habitual mind. It has created a certain pattern deep inside us. You live with a person, maybe a spouse, for a couple of years. Your mind creates an image about him or her. And now your mind need not to work. Every day you wake up in the morning, honey, I know, what are you saying? He may not be saying same thing. Do you see that? He may not be. She may not be. But still my mind knows what is the next thing coming out from the honey. What is the next thing coming out from the boss? You see? What is the next thing coming out from the mother? Are we really living our life? And that takes us to, what is this mind? And once we clearly understand what is this mind, meditation becomes easy, suffering is gone. The stress is gone, the anxiety is gone, the reaction is gone. To give one example, we Indians are funny, you know. Don't you see that? So one guy was driving in our financial capital, cab driver. So he was driving a guy to a destination, and we have, habitual. We have a habit, you can pat on the shoulder, you just touch. So the rider touched the shoulder of a cab driver, and the moment he touched, and he got excited, he started reacting. Zigzag movement of the cab, and then he calmed down. He said, for God's sake, don't touch my shoulder. Pay attention. Don't touch my shoulder. I'm driving the cab for the first time. But then he continued, previously I was driving when to carry dead people. So I thought, well, how come the dead man touched my shoulder? Habitual mind. Habitual mind. Understand that point. This happens to our life all the time. All the time. All the time. I'm going to Europe, so there was just today in the afternoon, so somebody in Europe, my students put a picture with my specs, and he praised a lot that we are going to have a workshop. So there was a comment. The guy who is wearing specs, if he cannot cure his short-sightedness, he cannot be a teacher. So tell him to correct his... These comments are going to come. Should I react? I said love. So habitual mind, remember this, habitual mind has to go. And if this habitual mind doesn't go, then there is no journey to the mindfulness at all. Now, what is mind? And then we will understand how this habitual mind should go. Before I take up what this mind is, there are two options available: wrong train, wrong track, wrong direction. Habitual mind. Right train, right track, right direction. Are you putting your 100%? Right direction, right track. Are you still thinking about someone? So last week I was giving a lesson to one of my students, and she was saying, why my honey does not understand? I said, am I talking to you or your husband? Can you tell me? So when you listen something, your habitual mind goes back and it relates those principles to others. So wrong train, wrong track, wrong direction. This is known in Eastern wisdom as the path of prayas. The Sanskrit word is prayas. I'm looking for pleasure all the time, considering it as happiness, considering as peace. What a big deal. I gave you a relaxation practice. You can relax by drug also. What's the difference? Compare. Wrong train, wrong track, wrong direction. Isn't it? Yeah? If you are not getting sleep, you have sleep disturbances, take sleeping pills. Why meditation? Understand that part. Right track, right direction, right train. The other option that we have, it is known as Shreyas, the path of Shreyas. What is the meaning of the Shreyas? Shreyas is always good and right. What is good and right?
Love.
Love? That's really good. And what is that love? Understand that part, that what is good, what is right. So mindfulness aims at the discovery of what is right, what is good. Where? Do you all want to discover what is good here? Or you want to discover what is good and right in you? Clear? What is good and right can never put you in anxiety and distress. Am I right or wrong? But if I prove what is right for me, that comes from the habitual mind. What is good, I need not to prove it. What is right, I need not to prove it. All human beings can smile. Is it right? Can smile. Animals can't. You may have a pet in your home, and when you smile and when you pat, what happens? Their smile is at the back. Not here. Not here. Again, just to pay a little more attention, now coming to the mind, and then I will link it to it. The mind in Eastern wisdom is understood in a different way. First understanding, mind is created when there is I am and I am not. The mind is created when there is a self and there is not self. The mind is created when there is an interaction between the matter and the consciousness. Does this wood has any problem? This is matter? No problem. Does the consciousness has any problem? No. So we carry the mind, when they interact, the mind creates a problem. Why it creates a problem? Because it is moving in the direction, the wrong train, wrong track, wrong direction. Did you get it? The moment the mind is created, when I know I am here and I interact with you, you are not. Take an example, simple. Here is a monkey. I know monkey is here. I also know I am not the monkey. I am not the monkey. So the moment the mind knows something outside in the objective world, it separates. So mind creates a duality between two things, I am and I am not. So the moment you realize that, the moment you become aware of this fact, the mind is there. So here comes an option. We all use our mind, or the mind use us. Now, come to the third point. Does your mind use you, or you use your mind? I am going to a restaurant. I ate that food last week. It gave me pleasure. Let me repeat that pleasure again. Is the mind using you, or you are using your mind? Take simple example. Simple. What is your take? Is mind using you, reminding you of the pleasure that you had last week? Clear? Right? Now understand again a simple thing. What we have to do for 1 unit of pleasure. Only 1 unit of pleasure. How many things I have to do outside for 1 unit of pleasure? I received the pleasure last week, going to that restaurant. Can you figure out how many things that you need to? You need to have money. You need to have a car to drive there. Clear? 1 unit of pleasure. Are you getting into it? And for anything. 1 unit of pleasure. I need to have money in my pocket to go to that restaurant. Right? 1. Second factor. I need to have a car. A gas in the car. Right? Now I go to the restaurant. The restaurant must give me some seat to sit there. Then I order. I should have a right mood. If the mood is not good, forget about pleasure. And the food that is served should be according to my taste. Clear? Are you clear? Apply it to your spouse, apply it to your boss, apply it to anything that you own. Remember Marilyn Monroe. She had everything. 1 unit of pleasure. I need to arrange so many things. You go back home and you say, I love you, honey. Honey is busy in doing something. He says, stop it, let me complete something. Gone. This is the path of the prayers. Wrong train, wrong track, wrong direction. Clear? Why it happens? We picked up in the first week lesson that it is a matter of ignorance. You have been attending yoga classes. Asato ma satagamaya, moving from false to the truth. So the mind that claims going to a restaurant, eating that food will give me happiness. Only thing our mind need to understand, it is a pleasure, it is a short-lived, it is not happiness. Whatever is short-lived, it is not happiness. And that happiness lies within me. The first principle, peace and happiness are my essential nature. So once you pick up that, means what? You are getting rid of the habitual mind. Now, what you have to do for 1 unit of happiness inside? After all, your home and restaurant, you have to cover a distance. Can I ask a simple question? How long it takes you to travel to your home from here? How long it takes?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. For you?
Not much longer.
Not much longer. For you?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. And for you?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Answer my next question. How long it takes you to reach to yourself? So simple. Answer me.
What was the...
How long it takes you to reach to yourself? No time. No time means no thought. No time also means no past memory. No time also means no conditioning. You enter into the path of Shreyas, the right train. For 1 unit of happiness, I need not to cover even a millimeter of distance. Do you see that? There is no distance need to be covered. So, when there is no distance needs to be covered, there is no space. When there is no space, there is no time. That is why the mindfulness is known as transcending the time and the space. That is why it is known as an effortless practice. How long it takes you to smile? How long it takes you to smile? She has started. The problem with us that when we take selfie, then we smile. This is the problem. But why it happens? Understand, it is again a problem of I am and I am not. I go to home, I look at a person, and I look at a person with my conditioned mind. I go to my office, I look at my boss with a conditioned mind. So that mind is living within me. And that mind takes me to the wrong train, wrong track, wrong direction. What is wrong direction? Now after all, I wished you good morning and you did not give me a response. So I react to it. From tomorrow, I'm not going to wish you. One simple example. Do you see that? So the mind must be put on a right train. And what is right train? Right thinking. Do we really think rightly? Or whatever thought comes, whatever thought comes to us, I like, I dislike, I hate, and he said, I love. I'm coming to your home today. Okay. So once we understand that part, what happens during the practice of meditation, you are aware. Oh, these thoughts are taking me away. Then what happens? Oh, leave that thought. I'm not going to a restaurant. For happiness, I'm going within. The mind says, no. Some noise is going outside. How can I meditate? Let the noise be there. You see? The mind becomes so extraordinarily aware. And in that state, meditation happens. Are you getting something? You even understand 1 unit of pleasure. Whatever you like, that you want to do, that gives you a pleasure, go back home and find out how many things you need to organize and arrange to get 1 unit of pleasure. And for a smile, we need selfie. That is the problem. Without selfie also we should smile. Isn't it? We have forgotten it. 5 steps. I'll introduce Shanti meditation. Shanti means peace. And I'll explain you these 5 steps. Understand it intellectually. Let me know if you have any doubt. And then we will practice the Shanti meditation today. And we'll repeat in a little deeper way in our coming week. Shanti means peace. So the first step of the Shanti meditation is known as dharana. Dharana means confining the territory of the mind. What is this room? You have confined the territory of the space here to interact together, to attend this workshop, isn't it? This is also a territory you have confined. What we do with our pet and dog, leash, we have confined the territory. You cannot move further. Can we do it with the mind? Yes. You need not to struggle with the mind. Whatever thoughts are coming, let it come. Are you listening to me? Okay, 100%. Listening to your mind also?
Right then I wasn't.
Okay.
But right there I was.
Yes, our face expression changes the moment our mind starts. I tell when your mind is talking to you, it is the habitual mind, and your mind is gossiping with you. Stop it. Then you are putting 100% with me. So everything is going on, you have a pet dog and you have confined the territory of that dog. Same thing, you confine the territory of the mind, and that we will do without doing anything. First step. The second step is what I call the pratyahara. Either you can say pratyahara, and in other tradition we say dhamma. Dhamma means to withdraw within. To withdraw within. Did you not withdraw within in this room after parking your car? Do you still think of the car while listening to me? Right? So why you think a lot while doing meditation? Why? So when you become aware of that fact, the withdrawal becomes natural. How withdrawal becomes natural? You are watching TV, it is midnight, the mind subconsciously says, I want to sleep, I want to sleep. It is repeating. You are not aware of it. I want to sleep, I want to sleep. Then what happens? You don't do it. Normally we hardly do it consciously, we do it habitually. Switch off the TV, going to the bedroom, closing, switching off the light. You are withdrawing your mind from the outside. Do you understand that point? Simply your mind is withdrawing. Do I need light? No. Do I need to continue watch TV? No. Do I need to sleep in living room? No. Go to the bedroom, you lie down on the bed, cover with a blanket, withdrawal is happening. Withdrawal is happening. And then everything is left. You fall into sleep. But here we are not going to sleep, Second part, third. Third is what I say, the inner journey. Inner journey means that now I have to explore what lies within. What lies within me? Fourth, what the neuroscientist talks about, the inward awareness and attention of the mind, leaving everything outside. You have left the car, you have parked the car. You have left the parking lot, and before that you have left your home. And that's why you're here. In this club you are confined to this room. The same thing, the pratyak, it is in Sanskrit, it is known as pratyak chetana, the inward moving consciousness, or you can say inward moving mind. Doesn't it happen naturally and habitually? You park your car in a garage, all the neighbors are out of sight. Now you are aware of the home inside. Isn't it? Doesn't it happen? Every day. we miss it. Same thing in the fourth step. And in the fifth step, we enter into a meditative state, what is known as objectless state of the mind. Are you ready? Let us start. Let us start our journey.